So say that their voice is clear when they talk on the laugh or off the laugh. Yes. If you hum the first bar of Happy Birthday, just hum it. All naturally, all naturally. Nobody tells you where to hum. Your voice goes up into the face. Talk in your face if you have a troubled voice. Talk in your face, and I call it the saving grace. All good and great voices are up in the face, believe it or not. They have a remarkable buzz to their voice. You're hearing it in my voice. I help patients to relate to the new voice by explaining how I got out of a very serious voice problem called spasmodic dysphonia, and it took me a period of years. In the process, I got a PhD. I was told my voice problem was hopeless. 12 MDs couldn't help me. 4 speech therapists couldn't help me. A teacher of singing couldn't help me. There must be another answer, and I sought it and found it. When one doctor finds the answer to what the establishment, the medical establishment, and the academic establishment and the drug establishment guarantee in writing there are no cures, all hell breaks loose. Let's take a listen to cures. I'll be telling you who diagnosed these problems, who diagnosed the problems, and give you a little background as you're listening to the before and after cures of what the medical establishment says and its academic friends and the drug company, Allergan, the Botox maker, guarantee in writing there are no cures. I've been reporting a number of cures for over 35 years. Tune into the before and after. Let's listen.
And I took a round of antibiotics.
This patient was diagnosed at UCLA Medical Center
Antibiotic.
by Dr. Burke, the chairperson.
I began to feel good,
SD.
but the voice has been a mess ever since.
I'm commission sales at Sears.
Tell them to turn the volume up.
That's my livelihood, is my voice. I got so depressed just not being able to talk that it definitely affected my life.
This voice was coming out. I think, God damn it.
Within a month of therapy with Dr. Cooper, I was using my voice again to the extent that I could go out on interviews and auditions, and shortly thereafter actually worked.
You can hear the obstruction starting to obstruct now, I think.
This is the new voice.
There is that aspect of lightening up, but there also is an aspect of having the correct pressurization.
And he said, I don't want you to talk in that little girl's voice anymore. You talk in your regular voice. I said, but when I talk in my regular voice, you can't understand what I'm saying.
I had a strangled voice. It was very difficult to speak. When I did speak, it sounded strangled.
Before I had worked into the position of employment director, manager of employment. And he continued to make overtures.
To pick her up before too late and take her home. Do I feel that I'm likely to go back to it? No, I don't.
Run, old figure. Okay, how long have you had this condition? A year and a half.
And he says, well, Ron, I'll give you 3 options too. He says, you can continue coming here for shots. You can call that doctor in California to schedule a surgery if you'd like. And then he goes, oh yeah, by the way, Ron, there's also this other guy. Go to his website, and he wrote down his name, thevoicedoctor.com, and handed it to him, and he says, check out this guy. He says he has a cure.
And so I found on the dystonia page that something that plagued people with focal dystonia was very often spasmodic dysphonia. And they called it, multifocal dystonia.
And I, as a patient who has experienced the fear and agony of thinking that my voice is disappearing.
It just got really bad lately. It chokes up. My voice chokes up. I can't breathe. I feel like I'm running out of air.
I didn't think that it could be so simple, but it was.
When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act like a prism and form a rainbow. When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act like a prism and form a rainbow.
Gradually through a period of a year, it kept getting progressively worse where within a matter of days it would occur.
This is the patient's recovered voice. the mastoid muscle.
And then I'd go in and start talking to my boss, and at the end of like a sentence, it would start dropping. And he'd say, what's wrong with your voice? And I'd say, I don't know.
I thought, what's happened? What have I done to myself? I know no one out there has this horrible problem I've got, but I found out there's an awful lot of people walking around out there in this world that have the spastic dysphonia.
And they say that it's because some motor signal from the brain is overamped and it tightens up the vocal cords.
It's pretty tragic, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Pretty tragic sound, and it's quite different now.
The last time he injected me with half a unit each in Botox, I completely lost my voice for 6 weeks. I was incapacitated. It was a complete roller coaster going through that, you know, but that's the only treatment that they told me was available, and that I would be getting these injections for the rest of my life.
Couldn't think of any name, and my sister and I were joking around about how many people call the rabbit's cocktail, and I just said, oh yeah, wouldn't that be fun if I called it Q-tip? So we just called it Q-tip.
Can you talk with the rabbit again?
Hi Q-tip, how are you? Do you want to hop around today? Are you thirsty? Why did you bite my shoe?
Do you realize you change your voice when you talk to the rabbit?
Yes. I talked higher.
Who diagnosed?
Scripps Hospital in La Jolla. Probably about a year and a half ago. They told me that it was neurological and I was born with it.
Other than the one time from Bryn where I had 6 months good voice, nothing.
They believe that spasmodic dysphonia is curable.
According to legend, a boiling pot of gold at one end. People look, but no one ever finds it. I've been here for the past 10 days trying to find a teaching position for the next academic year.
Jack, calm down. Poke his crown.
They didn't know what to do because they couldn't get me out of it. So eventually I went to other doctors who told me I had spasmodic dysphonia.
Trying to get help is very difficult because you can't communicate your problem or just your trials. They want you to go to psychiatrists, and how are you supposed to go to psychiatrists when you can't speak?
Well, and then he says, well, how long ago did you see Dr. Cooper? And I went, oh my God, it's been 6 years. It'll be 6 years in June.
Well, as I go through the day, even right now, I'm tending to raise my voice and go in the upper register.
You remember that voice?
I remember it.
Did you like it?
I didn't like it then, didn't like it now.
That's to help. And after a while, I regained my voice. Not 100%, but much better than it had been. And after about 2 years, it started to, again, go worse and worse.
I hope that by sharing, others too will find new hope for a life that allows them that greatest gift that God has given us, the gift that makes us human, that gift we call communication.
Hi, we're back in studio. The patients that you've heard are diagnosed at the University of California, UCLA Medical Center, at Scripps, at University of Michigan, at Mayo Clinic. The top medical doctors and the top academicians have diagnosed the patients that you've seen, and it is spasmodic dysphonia. Patients are told that they can't find a cure. These patients have come forward, given up the right of privacy and confidentiality to tell you there are cures because they experienced it. The medical establishment, meanwhile, goes on and on and on, guaranteeing there are no cures of this condition. So I'm going up to UC San Francisco Medical Center to talk about how I help cure spasmodic dysphonia. I change the pitch of the voice as you hear it, or lower the pitch. On the cures of spasmodic dysphonia by all natural Mother Nature's help, you heard a young man who's a Fortune 500 president who talked about the top fellow in the field, Bryn, who brought Botox to the field in 1984. That's the only Botox shot that worked of 17. 17 Botox shots over a period of 4 years, only one worked. I find that accurate. I report that on page 15 of a book called Curing Hopeless Voices. And the book is free. It is free. You download it, voice-doctor.com. We have the right to publicize the book for you because I have a 501c, which we don't charge for the book. It's free. And it tells you how I see spasmodic dysphonia, the strangled voices, or bad and troubled voices from a Mother Nature problem, and it steps on the toes of those in the medical establishment who want to do surgery and ongoing invasive procedures, implants of this and that into the vocal cords. The voice lift that they're looking for is medically done. Mine is simply done. Theirs may cost $17,500, as the New York Times reported on an implant by a famed ear, nose, and throat doctor. I was on the BBC, and they told me the cost was $17,500 for the implant. They didn't tell you that the implant needs to be replenished, redone every 3 to 6 months or so. They like ongoing invasive procedures and ongoing treatment for life with Botox for SD as well. Surgery is there. 2/3 of the surgery by Herb Dito, a famed ear, nose, and throat doctor who is well-intentioned and he's a fine guy, have turned out, according to the American Speech Language Hearing Association, leave 2/3 of the patients who've had the surgery worse off than before. I look to Mother Nature to help you to get your voice. Pitch your voice. Change from the lower throat to the face. And I use breath support. Most people who have the strangled voice, nearly all of them, have reverse breathing. And those who have troubled voices have the same problem. It's very simple to overcome these problems, but it takes doing, self-discipline. And what I am about is to tell you that the medical profession, a gentleman by the name of Andrew Blitz, a colleague of Mitchell Bryn, he's a neurologist, is looking current methods, he's saying, I quote, current methods are treating the symptoms, not the disorder. Treating the symptoms, not the disorder. And he goes on to say, Botox is the best symptomatic treatment we have at the moment until we are able to manipulate the brain. End quote. Manipulate the brain. They're going to draconic, radical approaches. The medical profession is a conservative field. It is now into the draconic in the treatment of spasmodic dysphonia and heading to brain surgery. There's no need for brain surgery, in my opinion. The condition is caused by misuse and abuse, and Mother Nature's answer is very simple. Change the focus of your voice. I wrote a book called Change Your Voice, Change Your Life. It was with HarperCollins for 12 years. And it tells you, it's self-help. It's on my website in part. You can get it. Change the place of your voice from the lower throat to your face, whether you have a troubled voice or strangled voice, spasmodic dysphonia. It can do wonders for you. It's Mother Nature's answer to your problem, your voice problem, I believe. Thank you for joining with me. I'm Mort Cooper on Mother Nature's Voice Cures. Bye-bye.